Yes, so Hairless here. Today we have Avi Kaplan with his cover of House of the Rising Sun. Now, I'll be completely honest here, growing up, I thought House of the Rising Sun was an original by the Animals. That's the only version that I'd heard for years and years and years. That's the version that is ingrained in my head. This performance here was the tied winner of our last members Avi poll of which song to do next by him. It came down to a coin toss. The other winner will probably be my next Avi reaction whenever that time comes. Our members will know which that is, but I'll keep that a secret for now. So this version here, this is the one that was recommended to me the most. Comments were saying it's bad video quality, so if it's a bit blurry, that's just how the video is, but the audio quality is good apparently. I just listened to a couple of seconds just to make sure, and this is the right version it looks like. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say here really, other than I'm excited to see what Avi does. I love the original song, and again, that's because of the Animals version. In fact, I think it was the first popular song that I ever learnt to play on the guitar all those years back. It's a song known and loved by many people worldwide, and the Animals version is an absolute classic from the 60s.
There is a house.
Yeah, that version is a great song. It'll be interesting to see Avi's treatment of certain parts of the song and how they might compare to that version. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. This performance we're about to hear is from a live stream concert Avi did. It was a fundraiser for his A Cappella Academy.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the Rising Sun, and it's been a ruin of many a poor boy, and God, I know I am one. My mother was a tailor. She sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Well, the only thing a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he's satisfied is when he's old and drunk.
I remember I did get some comments saying that if I want to hear him whistling, because I commented on that in a previous reaction, that he does it in this song. Yeah, oh, it's so cool, isn't it? So cool. Yeah, I'm liking this. The format as well. It's weird having this kind of. Oh, he's basically singing into a webcam, isn't he? It's just quite strange. But I like it. I like it a lot. I love Avi. I love this song, and yeah, it's no surprise that they work well together. Right, well, let's go over what we've just heard in these first couple of minutes. If you don't want to hear the analysis, go to the timestamp here. So I was curious about which key Avi would be singing in. The original song, or well, I'm going to use the Animals version as reference because that's what I grew up with and that's what's in my head. They're performing in the same key, but in the Animals version, they start low.
There is a house.
That's the first line. Then we get the second line.
They call the Rising.
And then on the third line, he suddenly shoots up right to the top to this A up here. In terms of ranges, you know, that's right at the top of a tenor range.
And it's been the ruin.
Usually as we grow into performances, things move up in pitch, they grow in power, but not right at the start. I've always found that quite peculiar with this song. It's like we've reached the climax straight away. Normally you'd at least wait for the first verse to finish. Avi in the same key, I'm not expecting him to go up that high. To be fair, you know, he could stay low throughout the whole thing. I think considering him and the guitar style he's doing, that would be very suited for this song. So to compare, as we just heard on the words, and it's been, the Animals went up to the top A, but Avi stays.
And it's been a ruin
He's staying in the much more singable octave for him. The Animals version as well has one of the most iconic song openings. This arpeggiated pattern, a plucked bass arpeggio up and down. But instead, Avi opts for chords in the opening.
There is a house in New Orleans.
It almost sounds like the first two chords are just single notes. It's immediately a softer sound, more mellow, much more complementary to his voice, to this basso profundo voice. It's just so manly. I understand there are probably loads of other versions of this song from before the Animals. I just don't know them. I'll need to go and give them a listen. The Animals version though probably does contrast Avi's quite a bit, so I think it's good to highlight these differences. There is another version that I'm aware of, an older version by Lead Belly. We can hear there that the music is fundamentally different. The chords are different. Avi's using the same chords as the Animals version, so that's another reason why that's in my head. Avi then does start to play some arpeggios, but he only goes up. He doesn't come back down.
They call the rising sun.
And he's also implementing tempo rubato, which literally translates as robbed time. It just means you're free with your rhythms. You slow down and speed up as you wish. You're not just like a robot strictly abiding by a beat, like a metronome.
The ruin of many a poor boy.
And especially towards the end of this verse, I think that builds suspense. When I was listening to that, I was thinking, oh, what's going to happen next? So yeah, on this note of taking more time, he goes down to this particular note and takes more time on it.
And no, I am one.
To finish that first verse. That note there is this bottom E. This is the lowest note of the guitar in terms of standard tuning. It is a low note, it's the lowest note your choral bass is expected to sing. So earlier on, I said Avi is using the same chords as the Animals. He is, except for one chord. He's made a slight change. That's chord number 3.
And it's been a ruin of many a poor.
That chord there is slightly different. Avi is playing D minor instead of D major. This gives it overall a bit more of a sad feel. I always say minor chords are associated with sadness, major chords with happiness. So instead of these first 3 chords, it sounds like this. Instead of... So the first verse ends and then he starts strumming. I think his voice suits this song so well. So through the strumming, we have a bit of a rhythmic drive now, you know, a bit more of a bounce in the sound. And to kind of work with this, he introduces some little quirks, like on the word sewed here.
She sewed my new blue jeans.
And again here. It's so catchy, isn't it? I find it's little things like this, little nuances like this, that when done well really can elevate a performance. And like this as well, this vocal run that he does here. He's satisfied. Such great vocal accuracy, hitting the notes perfectly. Let's listen to that in slow-mo. In terms of range, he's gone up to this E. And earlier, his lowest note was this E. So he's covering 2 octaves. He's covered 2 octaves so far. And then we get to the standout feature, the whistling. It's like a tongue whistle. I'm not sure what a proper name for it would be. I can barely whistle normally myself. So yeah, I really appreciate this. I like it. It's quite almost folky. I find it very calming, very relaxing. And he's able to introduce a new melody through the whistling as well. If he was singing the words to a new melody, we might be thinking, oh, hang on, what's this? This isn't the House of the Rising Sun, I know. But whistling is a different enough sound in terms of the timbre, the texture of the sound. And of course, it's lyricless. So this new melody, it just seems natural. And it fits well with the original melody, if we were to kind of put in the original melody here. Yeah, very cool performance this is, isn't it? All right, let's carry on.
Oh, mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery, in the house of the rising sun. Well, I got one foot on that platform, other foot on the chain. I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. House in New Orleans they call the rising sun. And it's been a ruin of many a poor boy, and God, I know I am one.
Very nice. Very nice. It's just nice when you get a great performance from just someone with a guitar singing. Nothing extravagant, nothing too fancy, nice music. So he's accompanied by his guitar. The guitar here serves multiple functions, two main functions. These are one, providing the harmony through the chords that you're playing, the notes you're choosing that make up the chords, that make up the harmonic progression. And then two, it's the rhythmic function. Whilst we have an overall beat, like 1, 2, 1, 2, Avi, through his strumming, is choosing more granular beats. The strumming pattern, every time you decide to move your hand up or down, is creating a new kind of mini beat, if you can think of it like that. So other than these two things, what else can we do differently to change things up a bit whilst strumming chords with a guitar like Avi is?
What I have done, spend your life.
Change the volume. When he's not singing there, although it's only a few seconds, he has dynamic variation in there. He crescendos through, creating suspense, and then when he starts singing again, he comes right back down. Variety, intensity, all in the blink of an eye, in a couple of seconds. Then we go into this phrase where the lyrics are sin and misery.
Your lives in sin and misery.
I like Avi's treatment there. He's gone for this kind of V shape. On the word misery, he goes down and then he comes back up. It's like he's sinking into the misery but then finding a way back out of it.
Sin and misery.
To compare to the Animals version, their treatment is different here. They choose to finish with a melodic fall, sinking into the misery, and also they are doing it kind of half-spoken.
Sin and misery.
Avi's choice is much more melodic and tuneful. A bit further on, he's now moved up melodically, building suspense again, and I don't know about you, but I was thinking about what's going to happen.
Other foot on the chain.
He can either go back down or continue up and go up to the top, which he does. Back to that top E here. We get another repeated whistling section, always very nice to listen to. And again, when he's not singing, he crescendos in the guitar. The whistling, then the singing, and the guitar crescendo and diminuendo. It's a repeat, but you know, in a song like this, I think it's completely fine. You're not always after crazy variety and changes. And that crescendo in the guitar is now even more contrasted by the fact that the guitar stops. It comes off and now it's Avi's voice for the outro. What I said earlier about changing the chord from D major to D minor. This is why, because the melody he's chosen here, the slightly altered melody, would not work if he had kept the D major chord in there. I'll play a D major chord when he sings that bit and we'll see what it sounds like. He's singing this note. which is the minor note of D minor. If he was playing the major chord, then there would be the clash between the minor and the major, which would be. Also, by choosing the minor version, you only need to change one note of the chord to play the next chord. Just here. Whereas if you did the chord that the animals use, it would be like this. It's not much of a difference, but it is still simpler. There's a bit less going on. Maybe it's better suited for a song like this, especially with Avi singing it because of his vocal style. And I guess my final thing to say would be a shout out to his vocal glissandos, these slides down that he does an octave and then back up. When one slide isn't enough. Yeah, really liked that. Very calm, I think. Very just nice to listen to. Find it quite relaxing. Right, well, thank you for everyone who took part in the poll and voted. And thank you to everyone for watching this. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. If you want to support me, join the community and vote in future polls, you can do so by joining the Patreon or YouTube memberships linked below. And I will see you next time.